Hello, Aries. What's up? What's up? Okay, so we're gonna jump into your July reading. But first off, can I give a shout out to my shirt? This is a shirt I found at like Target. And it says Friends and it has the people from Friends, and that's one of my favorite shows of all time. One of my favorite shows of all time. So I'm like really excited about it. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and start with you all's July. Thumbs up if you like Friends, if that's one of your favorite TV shows, because I love that show so much. I always have ever since I was younger. Alrighty, so we're gonna see what energy Aries needs to be on throughout July. Okay, so that's what we're gonna start off with, and we're gonna use the Zodiac Oracle deck. And then we'll jump into the actual reading with all the cards and clarification and all that good juicy stuff, okay? Aries, July 2018, overall energy. Please and thank you for Aries. Okay, so we have the moon in reverse. Okay, so in this deck, when anything is in reverse, that means pay a lot of attention to it. Okay, so being that this is still Cancer season, it makes a lot of sense that the moon card would be in someone's reading, you know, regardless of what sign, but somebody needs to be doing this. This is basically just feeling things out 100%. The way you're going to express yourself in July, the way that you should, I should say, is basically just expressing your feelings and really filling out what is emotional and then what is it that you're just attaching to the situation. So basically realizing what's real and what's not. Okay, so the nighttime, when it's nighttime and the moon is out, things look a lot different than they do in the daytime. So what you need to morph that into for your energy for July is to make sure that whatever it is that you're doing, you realize there's going to be a lot of emotions, you're going to be feeling a lot, and you need to figure out how to make it work out for the situation that you are in, okay? So let's go ahead and start off with the actual reading itself. I already pre-shuffled, but I have not, obviously I haven't gotten any of you guys' cards out of the spread yet. I haven't started, but the cards are shuffled, so we should be able to just start and begin. So we're going to start off with the first week of July. What can we expect for Aries in 2018? July for Aries. Oh, okay, so we got two cards came out, and I'm going to pull this card. Alrighty, so starting out, bottom of the deck we have the Queen of Wands. So this could be really like a time where you're kind of sort of feeling out how it feels to be a leader, but you're still in the learning phases. Okay, so you may be starting to feel that warm up though, so just keep that in mind. Alrighty, so starting off we have the King of Swords here. This is usually air energy, so this is Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini energy. This is someone who's really what's the word? He plans things out. He's very precise with things, and he's very meticulous about little details that go into the plan. He's very good at analyzing situations and then working his magic so that his plan comes out the way that he wants it to. He's also very cautious with whatever he's putting into play. So if there's a plan that he already has set in his head, he still wants to make sure that whatever plan that he sets forth, it's the time for it. Okay, so this is a really smart person, very intellectual, maybe really quiet, but overall very smart. Okay. Oh, and thoughtful as well. That's probably like the one. Emotionally, this person can be compassionate, but they aren't really like affectionate to the point where they're just like giving hugs and all of that. But they are affectionate in their own certain way. Next, we have the Temperance card. So this is kind of like, to me, when I see the Temperance card in reverse, I feel like that's something isn't matching up with the way the course is supposed to be. So kind of like if you're doing tests for something, and you turn in your test and it comes back and it says, oh, there's too many, I don't know, like like it's not that the situation is wrong, but it's just that the whole situation in itself doesn't fit the bigger picture. So the whole situation itself is just not even supposed to be there. It's not that it's wrong, it's just it doesn't even align with the assessment, the agenda that is already at hand. Does that make sense? So whatever this may be, this could deal with this air sign that you have. Maybe it isn't meeting your best potential, or maybe it isn't for your greater good. I will be doing clarification cards, so don't worry. And then after that, we have the Five of Swords here. So again, a lot of air energy. This is kind of like getting your revenge, if there is any, settling the score, kind of evening out the playing field. Someone may feel like they're left out. This is really like getting back at something. So this can be kind of dangerous energy if it's in the wrong person's hand. What I will say though is that the air sign in this situation is upright. So I do feel like this is a person who is level-headed, but at the same time, they're very methodical in what they do. With that being said, you have no idea what they're planning in their head, because they might not show it physically. But just know I would rather you be on this person's good side, whoever it is. Now we're gonna go ahead and do some clarification for your first week of July, or the beginning of your July, shall I say? Okay, so who is this air sign? Who is this person for Aries? Who is the air sign showing up in the spread? Here we go. Okay, so we have the Ten of Cups here, okay? So the Ten of Cups is kind of like the energy of, it's definitely a blessing that was missed. So like maybe you had a blessing or you had an opportunity and it was in your face, but for some reason it didn't work out right. And so now it's kind of like a lesson learned, but not, you weren't rewarded for whatever it was that you were going through. So, but this could have been a blessing in disguise as well. So maybe this person was that for you. Maybe you thought it was something, maybe you thought that this was the answer, but at the same time, it's not looking like it is. But at the same time, I feel like this person is a good person, but they're just not the right fit, if that makes any sense. Whether it's platonic or love related, whatever it is, it's not meshing right, because I feel like the motives are different in this situation. So I'm going to go ahead and do clarification for the Temperance card, and then I'll kind of put more of what I got from it. 1 second. Okay. So for the Temperance card in reverse, we're going to do clarification for that. I feel like whatever it is, it was something that you weren't patient with, because I feel really impatient right now. Trying to figure out what's going on. Almost like you wanted to just kind of force your own, your own solution for things, but that wasn't the way it was supposed to go. But at the same time, you made it happen, and so now you're dealing with all of the things, all of the consequences of that, because it doesn't match up. Does that make sense? We'll get into it. I'll make it make sense in a second. So the Temperance card, for clarification, we have the Ten of Pentacles here. So this is like traditional, this is pretty serious, actually. This is like your morals, almost. Kind of like your foundation of what you were, maybe who you've become. These morals were there as a foundation to set you up for that person or who you are now. So I feel like this is actually like issues within thyself. This isn't, it has to deal with someone else because they happen to be in the picture, but this is more about you. And I feel like you're used to a certain routine of how you deal with things, and so that's just how things are going. But at the same time, I think your morals are starting to be challenged almost with this person. Maybe this person came about at a time when you weren't paying attention to those morals, and now that it's back, like now that you're starting to feel emotional about things, or now that you're starting to feel out situations, I almost feel like this is they're actually like a conflict of interest now, but you don't know how to feel about it. That's kind of how I feel. And this could be, again, not just for love related things. It could be work situations, co-workers, financial reasons, career, friendships, whatever it is. But I do feel like this is something that was like, the tables have turned now almost. And it's like, it was good, but now we have to see the shadow side of it. And it's almost to the point where it's like, you know, it doesn't align, but now you're starting to realize it's because your morals and your foundations are shifting because they're evolving with you almost. And so with all of that being said, your daily life and your daily routines, they do start to change because you start realizing, hey, like things are different. Or I feel different. I feel like that's a big thing for you guys this month. And so then it's kind of making you feel like, okay, well, should I feel left out? Is this person going to feel left out? Am I leaving a part of me behind? I'm hearing that, like, it's almost like you're battling what you should have and what you should let go of. But that's not terrible. It's not terrible. We're going to see what's happening in the middle of July for Aries, and let's just see what comes up. Middle of July for Aries 2018. And I have no idea. I keep shuffling, and it's just like the answer is taking forever to come out. And I feel like you guys are just so impatient in July. I feel like in June you guys were also really impatient, but I mean, Aries are always impatient, so you know what I mean? Like, it's nothing new, but I feel like this is something that's actually urgent to you right now. You're like, when am I going to get answers? Like, I need answers. Okay, so we got one card just flew out. Okay, so for the middle of July. Okay. So starting off, I actually feel like you'll feel free, like you'll feel like the weight has been lifted off of you, because I think you're actually going to just agree with yourself and be like, okay, I am feeling a certain type of way. This is just how I'm feeling. This is just what it is. So what are we going to do to work on it? And I feel like that's very Aries of you anyways, because Aries is going to go after whatever they feel on the inside. So with that being said, with you feeling so much during July, we do have the King of Cups here. And so this is like really owning and having complete control over all of your emotions. This is someone who's very, very intuitive and very empathic. And just really is aware of how they feel about things. And with that being said, they're emotionally intelligent. And when you're emotionally intelligent and you're dealing with people who are emotional creatures, it's actually, you know, obviously a leg up, you know, like you get to understand what's going on. You get to have control of your own feelings and emotions, be at peace with certain things, realize when certain things aren't your own battles. And it's upright. So I do think this is you. This is kind of like a Pisces energy. Oh, this is the card that I resonate with, Pisces. Okay, so this is really like having emotional freedom and delegation over your own, the way you feel, you know. And it makes a lot of sense with this moon card in reverse for July. And just, you know, being on top of your emotions. So I think you actually accept that and you embrace it. And then after that, what comes is a lot of signs and a lot of not knowing exactly what's going to come, but knowing that if you can get to higher ground, it's safer. So, and you know, as fire signs, we understand this obviously because our life is about action. That's what we do. We put things into motion. And we always kind of find ourselves in these situations where we don't know what's going to happen next because we do things so drastically sometimes, or at least I do. But again, there will always be signs. If you're willing to be aware and like look out for them, then that's going to be your best bet, because you know you don't want to miss anything. But with that being said, you don't want to try to force anything as well. Like, just because you see signs doesn't mean that you know how everything is going to turn out. But what you can do is take heed of the signs and then realize how that would play out in your particular situation. So don't try to fix the signs or don't try to add, you know, mix them to your equation, but just see what your situation is, look at the signs, and then, you know, calculate and do your own analyzation of what you need to do next, or you know what I'm saying? Like, just kind of make it work for your situation, but don't try to figure out how things are going to play out, because it's going to, like, screw you over. And then to end the middle of July, we have the Two of Swords here. So this is really being at a standstill. Your defenses are up, but at the same time, you realize that you need to go and rewire the inside of the ship. You understand? So it's like sitting and kind of planning, meditating, analyzing pros and cons, comparing, contrast, like, anything that you can do to really like figure out what's what and get to the bottom of something, or figure out where the balance lies. That's what you need to be doing in the middle of July. Either whether you do it or universe forces you to do it, it will happen. But it's a lot easier for you to sit down and do it yourself. Really just basically putting your life back into balance. This is like the Libra energy. If I could say this is any air sign, I would say this is Libra. Well, Libra with a little bit of Aquarius, I would say, because it's also about detachment. So you also want to like come back from whatever it is that you're doing, step away from the situation physically, and then mentally go and assess it. This isn't just like stay in their face or stay in the situation and try to figure it out by feelings. Like, no, you know how you feel already, and you already know the signs. So the next thing for you to do is to step away from it, and that's why the swords are up, because you need to be a little defensive, and just figure it out yourself. So it's definitely a time to kind of distance yourself, which is also, that could be a result of this Five of Swords energy. This could have been you actually feeling left out of something at one point, or that they will feel left out sooner or later, and that's why you were feeling emotionally kind of weird about it, because you don't want that to be felt by them. But at the same time, if it goes into the solution, it goes into the solution, and you kind of do just have to step back, and that's part of the transition. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do clarification for the King of Cups and see who this is. I do feel like it's you, or at least the energy you're going to be feeling, but we're going to check just to make sure. King of Cups. Who is this? For Aries. July 2018. Okay. So we got Scorpio card. Okay, so some of you may be dealing with a Scorpio. Or this could just be the feeling of knowing that something is ending so that it can be rebirthed. And I think that's why I feel like this is you, this King of Cups here. Because I feel like this is you accepting that you already know what's about to happen or what you have to do. And essentially that's like killing something, or killing the idea or the concept of something so that another thing can be reconstructed for your benefit, right? So that's like the death and the rebirth of something, which is totally Scorpio energy, especially if it's something that you've been dealing with for a while, like a cycle, and you finally cut the cord, okay? And so then I think you'll be more free emotionally. Your waters will be more flowy, which is what this card represents, having complete control over your emotions. Like you rule all of that, and that's why it's the King of Cups, right? But at the same time, you're very, like you're empathic about it. You feel it. Like that's the beauty of it as well. It isn't just like, oh, I know that this is how I feel, but it's you feel that it's okay because it's your emotions. Like you're going based solely off of your emotions, which is what you should be doing. Now, what I do fear is that if you don't let it go, the signs are going to be showing and you're not going to take them. And I feel like that's just going to slow you down. I don't think that it's going to take you off of your path, however, but I do think it will slow you down. So pay attention to that. Okay, so then now let's go into the ending of July for Aries. And this is going to be kind of going towards Leo season for sure. So things will start heating up. We know that. People will start doing what they want, which is, it kind of fits you, Aries. That makes a lot of sense for you. And then, Leo is a sister sign. So you guys, you get it. I think you'll feel a lot more comfortable, which is the Nine of Pentacles that just popped up. I think you guys will actually feel comfortable during Leo season, but only if you do all of this, the work now that we have to do in early July. So towards the end of July, we have the Six of Cups, which is a beautiful card. This is the energy of someone from your past coming back to, reconcile or maybe just talk to you or be around you. Or this is someone that you have never met before, and they come into your life and you feel like you've had an experience with them in a past life. So like really nostalgic energy. They make you happy. This could even be an ex that you ended things with on good terms, or not good terms, but it didn't end badly. You guys left on, the same note, and it was kind of like a bittersweet thing. They may come back to you in this time at the end of July. But what this card is really solely about is memories and nostalgic things. So even if no one comes towards you or no one comes back, you may start seeing things that remind you of a person, or seeing things that remind you of memories from your past, or just childlike things that make you just feel really good and warm inside. And again, I can't stress that enough. With the moon in reverse for your energy here, you're going to be feeling a lot in general. But I feel like the difference between usually feeling things and feeling things in July for you, I really think it's going to be like, it's you actually having time to sit and feel for once. As Aries, I feel like you guys do feel, you guys just react so quickly. Out of all the fire signs, I think you guys are the quickest, fastest ones to move out of something or move to something. which is great, you know. But I think now in July, you're really going to have to, even if things are going as fast as they normally are, I do think you're going to have to sit and actually feel the emotions, and that may make some of you feel uncomfortable. But it all works out for the best, because this this death card is here, and I don't get it often, but when I do, I really feel like that's a cord being cut, or at least an opportunity for it to be cut. And usually it's for your greater good, for a better purpose for your life, so you don't continue a cycle, so to speak. Okay. And then we have the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is definitely a good card to have. It definitely represents Aries energy, I would say. Also Sag energy, but any fire sign. But this is about making a move and kind of just going for it. So this is not as planny, or not as you don't think about it, or you don't make a method, as long as you do with the King of Swords action. But this is definitely a card of planning, and then like very little planning, and then going and attacking it. The one thing I can say about this one is based off of intuition, and as fire signs, that's our thing. Like, if we feel something, we're going to go for it, because it comes from, a fiery place. And so we're making a move because we feel passionate about it. But with that being said, since you are moving aggressively, make sure that you're checking all of your bases, basically. And making sure that whatever you do, if something backfires, it doesn't kill the momentum totally. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a such thing as backfiring, but there's a such thing as also like getting your shit rocked. Like so where the plan doesn't work at all because you totally missed a specific little point that needed to be, dealt with. So make sure you're covering all your bases, but at the same time, don't be afraid to move if you do feel that. I'm going to do clarification just to make sure that that's what you need to do in regards to that, because I feel like as Aries, you guys will make a move anyways, but maybe you don't need to, but we'll check. And then lastly, we have Seven of Swords here. So I would hate for it to end like this in July, but being that we're going into August after this, and it is definitely going to be Leo season, I think a lot of fire signs will start seeing a lot of things manifesting itself physically, because a lot of people will start being their true selves in Leo season, meaning that they're just going to start showing their ass, basically. So we do have the Seven of Swords here, and that's, the energy of deceit, or at least sneakiness on someone's end, and I will do clarification. But needless to say, this isn't a card that you want. It's just not. It's not something you want to have to worry about, but it's here, so we're gonna deal with it. All right, so let's go ahead and do some clarifications, because there's actually a lot of stuff at the end of July that seems like it comes to the surface. So for the Six of Cups, let's see what type of person or what energy will be coming back to you or coming forth to you. And it has nostalgic, I don't know, points with it. So let's see. Six of Cups for Aries. What is this representing? I saw the Nine of Pentacles, so I do think this is something you're definitely going to feel comfortable with, and it's going to make you feel like back in your space again. So let's see. I'm sorry. I just feel so impatient. Like, I know that's how you guys feel. Okay, so Six of Cups. We have the Four of Pentacles here as the clarification. So this is Taurus energy for sure. This could be a Taurus. If you have a Taurus coming back into your life, or you had one before, or if you never have met one, maybe you will meet someone who makes you feel like super connected, super fast. Taurus energy, this is definitely kind of maybe someone that you had a lot of secrets with, because this is about kind of withholding something, or withholding abundance so that you can have it. The only problem with this card is becoming stingy. You don't want to become stingy, because when you do that, that's still an energy of fear. Because when you're stingy, it's like you don't want to let go because you don't feel like you're going to regain that, and that's not how the universe works, right? So again, this is someone that you probably have a lot of secrets, or at least a lot of things tied to. Maybe for some of you, this could be someone that you invested a lot of things with emotionally, physically, money, financially, whatever it is. Or this could also just be someone who is someone you used to work with, possibly. Someone who is wealthy, someone who is really good with money. I'm just kind of throwing pointers out there so you can match it up with someone. But yeah, just be on the lookout for that. And also just make sure you're not being stingy with that person, or at least make sure that if you are being stingy, it's for a good reason. If you sense something is off, then definitely, make sure that they're coming back into your life for the right reasons. Because just because someone comes back does not mean that it's for a good reason. Like, you could be happy that they're back, but they could just be back for money. You never know. So just pay attention, because it definitely has something to do with withholding. So either secrets or money, something. Okay, so pay attention. Alrighty. And the Seven of Swords energy, let's see what that's about for Aries, July 2018. Alrighty, so the deceit definitely lies in what is motivating you. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it because I'm seeing it play out in my head. Okay. So the end of July for you, someone's going to definitely come back, but it's someone who is going to I guess it's going to be like a test to see if you actually learned what you needed to. Because this person is going to come back, and I feel like you're going to feel the warmthness from them and you're going to feel secure with them. But at the same time, you're going to forget the reason why they left in the first place. And that matters. That definitely matters, okay? Because when people come back, it's usually because we're trying to revisit a certain challenge we need to work on. Just like with dreams, if you keep having the same dream, figure out what it is, because it's probably trying to tell you something, or it's probably a certain thing in your life that's happening again. And so you still have that same dream that came back in the same time. But that's a whole nother discussion. But pay attention to what their motives are, because after they come into your life, I see that we have you making a move, a drastic move, a change. This is like a very fiery energy, very like back to your nature. And what's crazy about it is because throughout your whole spread, there isn't much fire. But then when this person comes back, for some reason, you get sparked. But at the same time, Aries, just because you're ready to make a move doesn't mean that you thought about it all the way. Or doesn't mean that you're making sure it's going to fit everyone and help everyone around you. And after you make that decision, we have this deceitful energy here. We have this something's not right energy. Something's off. And then you have the Chariot in reverse, which is very Cancer energy, actually, I would say. But it's very like whatever is driving you, whatever your motives are, whatever you're doing all of this for, it's definitely not for your best interest. And you know that. Like, I feel like you're going to feel that, and you're going to feel like something is off. Or it may not even be what you're doing, but you're a part of something with this person. Maybe that person that comes back puts you back in a situation you know you don't need to be in. So pay attention and just be smart, okay, Aries? If you can have, let's see. I guess, like, honestly, if you could have a certain sign around you to make sure that you're kind of staying on track. If you have any Virgos around you, maybe stick around them. Because they're gonna nitpick at you and make sure you're not doing stupid shit. Or maybe a Capricorn would be good for you as well, but you don't want someone micromanaging. But there's a lot of air here, and I feel like this air is good, but it's also really going to be crazy for you. Just how, like, the thinking and the processing and the feelings and the da-da-da, like, there's a lot happening. So just pay attention to the signs. The middle of your spread is this 8 of Wands here. Pay attention to the signs. I'm going to pull a clarification card on it just to make sure that it's not anything we can't take care of now. What are the signs going to be about for Aries in July 2018? What is this? What is the signs? What is this all about? Okay, so we got 3 cards that came out. The first card is the 5 of Wands. So there's going to be a lot of competition, aggression, assertiveness, power plays, power positions, trumping, just a lot of all of that. So pay attention to who's doing that or who's competing with you, because that may be the person you need to look out for. We also have the 4 of Wands here in reverse. So this is definitely you not enjoying life, or you not having little fun moments. This could be maybe, like, for example, you usually go do this every so often. I don't know, you do something every so often. Maybe you go to a concert with your friends or something. Something's going to be off with whatever it is that you guys usually do around this time with whoever it is. Just think about it. It'll probably come to you when you're not thinking about it. There's probably going to be some discohesion with that. Like, I really feel like there's going to be an argument at this function. I think it's going to be really ego based. I think it's really going to be just kind of you finally feeling like, shit, like, I got this now, like, I got myself. And you feeling so sure of yourself that ego is going to come knocking, and someone with the same energy is going to try to match it. So pay attention to that as well. It could be another fire sign that you're dealing with, or maybe just fire people around you that's around the situation. And then we also have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So that whatever that situation is, it's going to lead you down the wrong path if you stay focused on it. So please don't. You're going to miss your blessing, and it's definitely going to cause you to have to go into that mindset where you need to have your defenses up. But at the same time, you're going to have to go within yourself and figure out what the fuck is going on. Because there's a lot happening. Like, there's honestly a lot happening. And I feel like once you finally get peace of mind, something's going to come back and like, hit you with another challenge. Like, you're really just going to have to be boxing it out this July, okay? Like really just fighting. So, but I think it'll be fine. I think if anyone can handle it, Aries, it's you. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Pentacles here. So this is definitely like saying, like, just be good, give back, try to be the best that you can be, and you will receive those rewards back, because that's what that card is about: charity and giving and receiving whatever it is that you gave. You'll receive it in some form or fashion. Don't get too comfortable. Don't think that you know what's going on, because you are going to be in feelings this all of July. So feel out whatever it is. Feel it out. Like, if it doesn't feel right, you probably need to move around. Now is the time to use that Aries, like, spark of movement and voice, and really know what you want. Okay, so don't let the feelings clog up the logic that you need to have. But at the same time, you need to feel emotions. If you don't feel it, you're going to miss the signs, because they can look right logistically to you. But feelings wise, if you're not feeling it out, they could be playing you and you won't even know. So really just feel all of that out. And be patient. Be patient. Everything will work out, because as soon as you start asking for something, I promise it's going to happen. And then you're going to be like, what the fuck? Like, this is happening way too fast. So just pay attention to that and stay calm. Stay level-headed. Drink lots of water. And yeah, I think that's it. I'm left from a Leo. If I'm not your favorite Leo, one day I will be. And until next time, I will see you very, very soon, Aries. Enjoy your July. Keep a cool head and just be chill, okay?